This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I'm delighted to be here helping you with playing the guitar. In this video, I'm going to go over how to tune the guitar. Isn't it great? We can tune the instrument ourselves. We don't have to hire someone to come and do it for us like you have to with some other types of instruments. We can do it, and I'm going to go over some of the different ways you can do that here in this video. This video does accompany the introductory materials from Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2, the Tablature book, and Note Reading Books 1 and 2, which are all part of my Method Book series. So if you have those books, you can find some reference materials on tuning the guitar on page 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in here. Now, there's sort of three great ways to approach tuning the guitar. One is with some sort of electronic tuner, like a clip-on tuner or an app. Another way is to tune the guitar to itself. And a third way is to tune the guitar to another instrument. So we're going to look at each of those approaches. Now, there's a couple things that we need to understand before we can tune the guitar, regardless of which of those approaches that we use. The first thing is that we need to know what pitch each of the strings is supposed to ring at openly. So I've got a little diagram up here on the board. You got the guitar. It's not drawn to scale, but the body of the guitar here, and then each of the strings on the far side have got the actual pitch names. So we got strings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That high string down to the low string. And we've got those pitches over on the right side of the board. On page 4 of the different method books, you'll also see some visual help there. So, on that high string, it's an E, then it's a B, then it's a G, D, A, and E. A lot of my in-person students have liked to use different acronyms over the years to memorize these. So starting from the low end, it goes E, A, D, G, B, E. I've got students that like to use eating apples daily grows big ears. So eating apples daily grows big ears. I've also had students use Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. But E-A-D-G-B-E. So we need to know what pitch that we need to tune each of those strings to. The other thing that we need to do is know how to tighten and loosen the actual string. So we've got our tuning keys, or our tuning pegs, our machine tuners, whatever you want to call them, down here on the headstock. And you may have all 6, or if you've got more than a 6-string guitar, you may have them all on top. You might have them all on bottom, or it might be like this guitar, some above and some below. This is the thing to know. You're going to tighten a string by going the natural twisting direction of your left hand if you're playing a standard guitar like this. So, meaning a standard right-handed, just basic guitar where your left hand is down here doing the tuning. If you were flipped the other way, it's going to be the other way. But, so this does not always follow righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I just tightened this actually by turning it left. But you're going to go the natural way that your left hand turns. And then to loosen the string, you're going to go the opposite direction. When I flip underneath here, it changes to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but my hand still tightens by going the natural way, because I'm flipped upside down, the natural way that my left hand goes, I tighten with, and then to loosen it, I go the opposite way. Now, this is what you also need to understand with that. When we tighten something, we're raising the pitch of the string, and when we loosen it, we are lowering the pitch of the string. That becomes really important as we're tuning, because the string is either going to be ringing too high or too low or right in tune. And if it's too high, then we'll adjust it by lowering it, by loosening the string. If it's ringing too low, we need to tighten it. So we're going to adjust it, raising that sound until we get it in tune. So let's go ahead and look now at how this would work with an electronic tuner. I've got one here that I can clip on. A lot of my students, and I have some too, where I have just downloaded an app or tried different apps. There's lots of free apps available that you can use on your phone. I like using an app when I don't have a tuner with me, But I especially like using the app when I'm in an environment where I don't have any ambient noise. I like to get these little clip-on tuners and kind of keep them handy, because if I'm in a place with ambient noise, sometimes it interferes with my tuning when I'm using something that doesn't have this clip-on device. That isn't a clip-on device, I should say. But with clip-on tuners, you clip on at the end of the headstock there, and it's going to judge the tuning of each string based on the vibrations that it picks up. Now, a couple important things with electronic tuners. There's different settings. So, like this particular one and some of the apps that you might download, there's settings for multiple instruments. They might be calibrated to tune mandolin, ukulele, I should say, guitar, bass, and so on. So you need to find the setting for guitar specifically, otherwise it won't be checking for the right pitch. You can also use chromatic. I like to use chromatic because it tells me what pitch the actual string is ringing at. And sometimes if the guitar is way off, then it helps me find the pitch easier. So if you go for chromatic, it's going to identify what pitch the string is ringing at, regardless of whether it's actually one of the pitches that it should be as an open string. And if you're on guitar setting, it's going to be identifying specifically or looking for those pitches specifically. I mostly use chromatic, but just be aware that there are those different settings, because if, for example, you were on viola or something, the strings are tuned different on viola than they are in guitar, so it would be messing things up. Okay, so whether you're using a clip-on tuner or just a tuner that has a microphone, or you've downloaded an app that's using the microphone off your phone, they all work the same. Basically, you're going to play the string. So I just played this E string, and it's going to ring in. If it's at 0 cents, it's in tune. A lot of the tuners will like light up a different color when it gets in tune, or you'll see a needle that's sticking up, and you can just watch for that. Now, if the string is ringing too low, that needle or some sort of indicator, it could be arrows, whatever, is going to show you that it's too low. Somehow it's going to tell you it's below the pitch that you're looking for. Or if it's too high, it's going to be above. So sharp is a term for high, and flat is a term for low. So if it's too sharp, or it's ringing over here, if there's a needle ringing over here, it's too high. If it's ringing over here, it's too low. And we adjust it by doing the opposite of what it is. So as I pluck this string right now, it's too low from all that messing around I did. So because it's too low, I need to tighten it until I get it in tune. Sometimes you'll go a little far and then you just bring it back, like I did. I raised it too far and then I got it right in tune at 0 cents. Typically, we tune at 440. That's sort of where guitar is usually done. That's kind of the standard place we go. And that just is how high or low a certain pitch is going to be at to be in tune, what's considered in tune. Sometimes orchestras will tune slightly higher than that. They'll get everybody in tune slightly higher. But this would be 440. 0 cents for us would be 440. So if this string was too high then, if it was ringing too high, then I would loosen that string and bring it back until I get it in tune. So that's how that works with an electronic tuner. Again, if the needle or whatever indicator is telling me it's too low, then I tighten the string and I just do it nice and gradually until I get it in tune. If I go too far, then I back it off. If it's showing that it's too high, then I loosen the string until I get it in tune. And you just want to make nice, slow, gradual movements. You don't have to go fast. Just nice and slow. So that's how it works with an electronic tuner, and you could do each of those strings. Remember the pitches of each of the strings. Now, if we wanted to tune the guitar to itself, it's pretty cool. There is an image for this on page 5. Because the guitar has the strings the way it does, it's tuned to what we call force. There are places along these strings where a string plucked at, say, the 5th fret will sound the same as the next open string. So the 6th string at the 5th fret will sound the same, or should sound the same, as the open 5th string. So if I have my 6th string in tune, and I was messing with it, but I do have it in tune, then I can play that one and play the next one and listen for if they're in tune. Now they are in tune, but if they weren't, I'm going to make it not be in tune. You're going to hear this fighting motion in the waves. it's going to have this tension. It does not sound the same. There's this tension. So for me, what I usually do when I'm tuning, if I can't tell if it's too high or too low, if I can tell, then I can go with it. But if I can't tell if it's too high or too low, I drop it down to where I make sure I know it's too low, and then I gradually bring it back up. Now I just went lower, and it's definitely too low, so I just gradually keep tuning it until we've lost the fight in those sound waves. And that's how you can get the guitar in tune from one string to the next. So in doing that, at the 5th fret, the 6th string will match the open 5th string. If you go to the 5th fret of the 5th string, it'll match the open 4th string. The 5th string and the 4th string will match. If you do the open 3rd string, you're going to go to the 5th fret of that 4th string. So go to that 5th fret of the 4th string and you're there. Then when you get to the 3rd string, this is where you actually have to go down to the 4th fret to match the open 2nd string. And then you go back up to the 5th fret on the 2nd to match the top. So you're going to be 5th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, and then when you get to the 3rd string, you got to go down to the 4th fret to match the open 2nd string, and then you're back up to the 5th fret. So you can tune the guitar to itself that way. In a similar fashion, we can tune the guitar to another instrument, like the piano. The piano is a great instrument to tune to, so I'm going to use that one as an example. And there's an example there with the piano or a keyboard on page 5 in the books. I'm also just going to sort of walk us through it. Really, all we need to know in relation to the piano is where each of these strings, how it matches up with the pitches on the piano. So this high string is the E pitch that sits just above middle C on the piano. And this B is the B that sits just below middle C. So middle C is right in between the two. So if you can find this E just above middle C and then continue on down, you can find the rest of these pitches on the piano because they'll just go right in order as they occur. And then all you do is sort of the same thing that I did when tuning the guitar to itself. You have the pitch played on piano, and then you try and hear it, and the easiest thing to do is to drop it below the pitch where you know it's below for sure, and then just gradually bring it up until the pitches match, until you take away that tension in the sound waves, until they just sound like they are in unison. It's as simple as that. Okay, hope that helps, and keep having fun with the guitar. We'll see you in some more videos. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.